Hello everyone, my name is Charlie, and welcome to Surviving Mars. This is a colony management and survival game created by a Bulgarian developer by the name, I believe I'm saying this wrong, probably Haemimont Games, and published by Paradox Interactive. And I want to give a special thank you to Paradox for allowing me to share this pre-release copy and experience it with all of you. Surviving Mars is a sci-fi city builder game that's all about colonizing the red planet and surviving the process. I've had my eye on it for a little while. I'm sure many of you guys have too. So let's jump in and experience this little gem together. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the beginning of the game and take you through my experiences and thoughts as we go. So let's get started. First, I'm going to go, before we get into the game, I'm going to go to the options screen because I want to show you guys some of the options that are available in the game. We're going to be playing 1440p, and this video is also uploaded in 1440p. The entire series is. In fact, every video on my channel from this point on is. So we have that going on for us. There is also UI scaling for the person who asked. There you go. You can scale this up and down all you want. That's great. I'm also going to go and show you guys the video tab. I've got everything set on completely ultra, like as high as you can go on every setting. So the experience you're going to see in this is the best I can possibly show you. Gonna go to audio settings. Not much here. We do have some tweaks here, but other than that, audio settings are pretty simple in the game. Go down to controls. This does have controller support, if you were curious. I don't know why you would want to use a controller, but you can if you want to, if that's kind of your thing. Gameplay settings. I'm gonna leave the hints on. I know that, you know, like I've been through like about 5 hours of the game so far, so I don't have a whole lot of experience, but most of the hints that'll pop up in the early game, certainly in this video, I've already seen, but I'm going to leave them on for you guys so you can see them. And then there's key bindings. There are 10 pages of these. If you are a key binder, if you got that keyboard and you're like, I want all of these things to be shortcutted, you go nuts, man, because there's like everything. You can keybind anything you want. So there you go. I have changed one thing from the default. The default for speeding up and speeding down the game speed is normally the plus and minus keys. I have decided to change this to 1 and 2 because it's easier for me to reach with my 10 keyless keyboard. Okay, so other than that, let's hit new game and get started. So when you first boot up the game like this, and when I started to play and what I've been dinking around with is the easy start thing. We're not going to do the easy start here. We're going to have our own like little customized experience here. So I've seen this stuff, but I haven't really worked with it too much yet. I do know, however, that you get to choose a mission sponsor, the patron country or organization standing behind the Mars mission. This is what's responsible for granting you funding, research, and other benefits to your colony, and each one has sort of unique benefits. IMM, International Mars Mission. This is the very easy one. If you're just starting the game, they recommend you start with this one to get your feet wet. And if you hit easy start in the main menu, you'll be getting IMM. I am, however, going to change it. And these typically work in difficulty, starting at the top being the easiest and the bottom being the hardest. With then, of course, just random being if you want to be thrown in random. You'll also notice there's a difficulty bonus applied. And I don't exactly know what this does for now, but I think you can use it, at least visually right now, to get a gauge onto how difficult your game will be. And so you can adjust your difficulty based on which sponsor you choose, the different commanders you choose, where you choose to land, etc. And you'll see all those things. There's some actually unique benefits to some of these things. This one here, for example, gets periodic additional funding. USA just kind of gives you additional funding every now and then. You get to start with 3 rockets. You can see how much funding you get to start with. The research per soul, which on Mars is like 24 hours, 39 minutes and 35 seconds or something like that. So a Mars day is a little bit, just a tad bit longer than an Earth day, but pretty much the same. You can see the different benefits you get here too. The Blue Sun Corporation will get deep metal extraction right off the bat, so that's nice. India gets to start with low G engineering and gets to start with a medium dome unlocked. So that's pretty good too. We are going to be, and you can see that like India is a normal difficulty. You go to Church of the New Ark. This is a hard difficulty. All your colonists are religious. Their birth rate is doubled, and they have hydroponic farms that have a 50% reduced performance. You know, just they only get 1 rocket. You know, the New Ark, if you will. Russia is also down here as being hard. For this playthrough, we're going to start with Space Y. Now, SpaceX, Space Y, they start with 5 rockets. They seem to start with the most rockets of any faction, which is kind of nice. I like that. However, funding, only 6 billion, as opposed to IMM, which gives you 30 billion. It's considered normal difficulty. We get 200 research per soul, and we start with only 75 applicants being available. The cool part about Space Y, though, is they have 50% cheaper advanced resources, which is going to help us in the late game. Also, drone hubs start with additional drones, and that sounds nice. So we're going to do that. Next is your commander profile. Same thing, kind of. This is not like there's a whole bunch of options and they each have different benefits and whatever, but it doesn't exactly go from easiest to hardest necessarily here. And there's a lot of different flavors that you can choose from here. Rocket scientists get CO2 jet propulsion, which unlocks shuttle hubs and long-range transportation. Ecologists have hanging gardens. Your futurists have autonomous sensors, which allows you to have your sensor towers no longer require power and maintenance. That sounds nice. Going along that theme, though, we are going to be choosing the Inventor. This has autonomous hubs. Drone hubs no longer require power or maintenance. This means that our drones and our hubs will never need to be maintained, which is super, super awesome, in my opinion. I don't know if it's necessarily the most powerful of all the commanders necessarily. There are some pretty good ones in here, but I think the Inventor is pretty cool. So we're going to go with Inventor here. Reinventing space, if you will, with SpaceX, Space Y. Colony logo. Since we're going with Space Y, there's no. I mean, I'm gonna show you all the logos that are kind of available. They're pretty cool. They're pretty well drawn. But if we're gonna go with SpaceX, we're gonna go with Don't Panic, of course. Don't panic. All right, and then we have finally the mystery. This is something new. It's an active storyline for your playthrough. So it actually creates quite a bit of replay value in that sense, doesn't it? You can go with random, which is what we're actually going to go with because I don't actually want to know which one we're on, but you can kind of see a famous quote, and they use quotes a lot in the game, and it kind of gives you a clue as to what they mean, what they're for. And each one of these is a different storyline that you can explore. I have no idea which one we're going to choose because I'm going to hit random, and we're just going to see which one it gives us. So there we go. That's our, this is what we're going to start with. Let's go. Next, we get to choose our payload for our first starting rocket. So we have to work within the constraints of our budget. And currently, we only start with 5 billion and or 6 billion, and we're down to 4.1 already, even with this stuff. I'm gonna make a few changes to this and just take a look at it really quick and make a few changes, and I'll let you know what I decided to do. All right, so pretty easy. All I've done is I've taken away one drone hub. This freed up the weight, because it's 5,000 kilograms for that. It freed up the weight for me to bring another Stirling generator, actually 2 of them. Initially, we weren't going to start with any. Now I'm bringing another Stirling generator. This is going to be $800 million, so now our funding is down really low. Also, I had a little bit of extra weight, enough to bring 1 additional drone with us, so at least we'll have a little bit more productivity in that sense. We're gonna have 3 orbital probes. We're gonna start with 15 electronics, 15 machine parts, and 15 polymers, as well as a RC transport vehicle, which allows us to move resources around and to also go and gather resources from outside our control range, and you'll see what that is in a second. Also, big note, if you are a patron of the channel, a financial supporter of what I'm doing, you can get your name in the game for this playthrough. Either as a rocket, this one is called Dragon 1, but we can rename it, or you can get yourself in as a colonist. So just keep that in mind. You can get your whole family in as a colonist. Why not? I don't know, whatever. So let's hit next. And the final thing is choosing a landing spot. Now, along with the difficulty bonuses that you get for choosing everything else, you'll notice that the difficulty bonus is changing as I move around, and that's because the where you start is also a huge contributor to the difficulty factor in the game. So if you want to make this really hard, you would basically find a place that has a lot of really high threats and very low resources. Like you make the game super hard for yourself. I'm not interested in making it super hard for myself necessarily, so I'm actually going to try and find a place that has a lot of resources and really low threats. Ooh, can I get full water on this? If I can't get full water, that's fine, but I really wanted to get full water with... no, but we can try this spot right here. Oh, maybe not. There. So we're going to get full on metals, full on concrete, slightly less water, relatively flat. The mean temperature is negative 15 degrees Celsius, and our colony site will be located here. That sounds kind of nice. I could also choose random if I want to, which is not something I'm going to do. And then we have our threats that are as low as possible. Just to go through the threats with you really quick to see what kinds of things you can deal with in surviving Mars. Dust devils contaminate buildings in their area with Martian sand. They're basically really quick storms that don't last very long, but they may cause some things to malfunction. Dust storms are things that last a little bit longer. They're also like dust storms, and they also make the moxies and moisture vaporators not operational. These are things that interact with the air, so they won't be operational during these storms. Those can last several sols. Meteors can destroy or damage structures and colonists and vehicles in their impact area. Some meteors are composed of useful resources like metal or polymers. So the meteors are not necessarily a bad thing. If they hit the surface, you can actually get resources from them. If they hit your stuff, then fine, you'll have to repair it. But you can get resources from them sometimes too. And then we have cold waves. They last several sols, increasing the power consumption of vehicles, drones, and many field buildings. Water towers are frozen during cold waves. It's a pretty nasty thing. We can get technologies that help mitigate some of this stuff. So anyway, here's our colony start. Let's get started.
Welcome to Mars.
Everyone at Mission Control is impatient to see the rocket touching down and unloading its precious cargo. Our remotely controlled eyes and hands on the red planet, the drones, and rovers. Our goal is to secure a foothold for humanity by building the first Martian dome. This daunting endeavor will allow the brave pioneers, the founders, to settle on Mars and prove that the colony is sustainable. But until then, we have to make sure the colony has enough construction resources, water, oxygen, and power. So, this nice little procedurally generated map is where we are going to start. And it looks to me like the map is always different every time you load it. Looks to me like our starting sector is here. This is the buildable area that the game has sort of pre-scanned for us. We did, however, bring 3 orbital probes, remember. So what I'd like to do is see if there's any regions around here that have water. So let's start with this one. Ooh, we got some metals there. That's nice. How about this one? Oh man, look at all the rare metals. Oh goodness, we're gonna have so much fun in that region. All right, how about this one here? All right, so no water in the starting area, unfortunately. But since we've scanned this area, we can land here. And like so many, like this is a lot. This is great right here. Got lots of metals around here too, so we should be fine for metals for quite a while. Where do I want to land the rocket though? Yes, a couple of deposits for concrete. I think like probably within the range of the concrete. Like over here we can put our power stuff. I think so. So how about we put like right about here should work, I think. Let's land here. All right, rocket's coming down. Oh yeah. All right, I love it. I love it. So cool. All right, I'm gonna pause the game really quick here because I want to show you guys something really cool. This game has a photo mode. Oh yeah. So you can take a photo at any time. You can reposition the camera, you can move around, whatever you want. You can even adjust the time of day. So I'm gonna take a cool photo of our first landing here. Let's get it to where the bloom isn't so overpowered. That might be all right actually. It's nice and bright. It says don't panic. Let's get it to where it's just, yeah, like this. This is probably better. Okay, so I'm gonna reposition the camera a little bit like this. This is gonna be our thumbnail for this episode. So you guys probably already seen this already. So I'm gonna go right about, ooh, hang on. Let's get it from this angle. Yes, let's get it from this angle. Can I get lower? Yeah, there we go. Field of view, let's adjust that just a little bit. Cool. And we can change the fog intensity, the fog density if we want to. So if we want it to be nice and clear back there, we can. It doesn't really look as realistic as I'd like it to be. So let's turn that fog back on a little bit. Yeah, let's turn that fog on just a little bit. I do want the detail, but I don't want it to be like video game detail. I want it to be like photo detail. I think this is probably okay. We can adjust the exposure. We can even put some vignetting on the photo, which is kind of cool. And I think this is fine. This is a great photo. Let's take it. That's our first photo, guys, right there. I mean, it's my 4th photo, but you guys know. It's the first photo we have for this campaign anyway. All right, building construction. So I'm gonna leave the tooltips on, like I said, but you guys can feel free to, pause the video if you wanna read them and stuff. Let's go to research really quick so you guys can see the tech tree. Now, the tech tree is not as linear as it looks, and it does go on for quite a bit. There's quite a bit there. It's not as linear as it looks, though. You can research these in any order, provided you have the information necessary to research them. So what I mean by that, as we play, we're going to unlock certain researches that we can do, and they will appear in different orders every time you play. So it's not necessarily like as you proceed, it's more advanced. I mean, it is like that, but stuff does not necessarily appear in the same order. We have the biotech tree, the engineering tree, robotics, physics, and social trees. We also have a breakthrough tree. These happen randomly, and they're given to you kind of randomly, sporadically. You have a breakthrough in your research, if you will. We're going to start with autonomous hubs because we have the inventor commander. So, how do you start in Surviving Mars? Well, I'm going to compare it a little bit to Planet Base as well as RimWorld, and I'm going to say that both of those games have a very tense start compared to Surviving Mars. I've restarted a campaign on Surviving Mars so far 5 times. Every time has been a little bit different, but every single time, it just feels more relaxed. It feels like it's not as urgent as all these other games that have survival and stuff, because you're starting completely unmanned here. You can take your time. You can look around your surroundings, set up where you want it to be. You can get your infrastructure in place without having to worry about people dying. And I like that a lot. It's not like Planet Base where you're like, okay, you landed, ready, set, go. And hopefully your guys don't die before you get oxygen. So I like that about this. First thing I'm gonna do, I think, is I'm gonna start getting resources to build things, but I need to select an active tech first. So let's prioritize stuff that is going to help us for unmanned stuff. Allows the clearing and salvage of destroyed buildings. Wow, this is really fast. Decommission protocol is all the way over here. Last time I played, it was like right here. So like this random order, like I said. So sometimes you get great things that help you out, sometimes not so much. Let's get this one. RC transport will harvest resources faster, and its maximum storage is increased by 15. The earlier we get that, the better. This has to do with life support, so we don't need that. Social has to do with people. We don't need that yet. We can get the probes, and we can get the decommission protocol as well. We're not going to need decommission protocol very early, but having it early on, I suppose we don't have to worry about not having it later. Oh, also, before I forget, you can actually outsource research too. So you'll see we have 3.4 billion in funding still, right? And we can outsource some of that if we want to. We can pay to have our research rapidly go faster, right? I'm not in a hurry to have any of these things done, so I'm not going to worry about that. But if we were in a hurry for something to happen, we could outsource it. We get more science or research, I suppose you could say, in exchange for funding. Since we're on a really tight budget, not gonna bother with that. So let's get some resources set up. First thing I wanna do is talk about power. Now, we brought 2 of these Stirling generators with us, and these are awesome. So it's basically free power as long as they stay closed. And I'll tell you why that is in a second. Let's put the Stirling generators. Where do I want things to set up? Maybe I just put them in the middle. It's different than I've done it before. We're gonna need a dome over here because we have metals here we want to extract. We're definitely gonna want a dome over here. Hopefully a medium dome. A medium dome right here would be sweet because then we could probably get both of these too. So we might wait on that for a bit. So how about we put the power like, I don't want to put it too far away. I also don't want to put it in this wide open area. Which regions have we researched so far? We haven't scanned this area. Let's scan this area and this area. And then these 2 areas and then this one. So let's put the power down. I'm gonna stick it over here by these rocks. Let's just do that. So we'll go like here and then we'll put another one down right here. Now these are ooh, wait. Ooh, they're too far. That's too far away. I can't do it. So you see how this ship has a hexagonal area, right? This is the command range of this, right? This is the command range. Now we do have a couple of these drone hubs, and because of the inventor, we actually kind of get these for free. So I'm actually gonna take and put this right like this, right about there. That's gonna extend our command range like all the way out. This is a prefab building, so we don't need any resources to build it. We just need one drone to go out there and take the prefab and install it. This little thing right here, I know I'm kind of going fast here, but I will explain things more as we go. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave it down below. Also, if you're watching this video shortly after I've released it, I am currently live on Twitch right now too, so after you're done watching this, go check out the Twitch stream. You can ask me questions there as well. So, we have this RC transport. This is gonna be useful for gathering resources. It's like a pickup truck, if you will, for it. And it also can go outside the command range. So if we have any resources we want to gather, I keep zooming out too far. If we have any resources we want to gather that's outside this hexagon, we can send this out to go get it. So there's some resources out here. These are some metals. And I think I'm gonna have it go get those. So I'm just gonna click on it, and this guy's gonna be like, Roger that, and off he goes. All right, drone hub is done, and that means we have a whole bunch more drones, as well as like a whole bunch more things we can do and faster. So with these things getting installed, that means we're gonna have power. Let's focus on resource gathering then. We're gonna want a concrete extractor. Concrete extractor can go right here, I think. Do I wanna do it there? Maybe we do it in the middle here. And then once it's done doing that, we can break it down and then do it on the other side. I like that idea. Yeah. So put the concrete extractor there. Now this is gonna need power as well. Actually, you know what? Let's not do that yet. Let's instead put it on the other side first. That way my power line can be a sensible thing. Let's go right about like this. All right, now we can take the power. We're gonna need power lines, power cables, to go from these all the way out to our concrete extractor. So all the way out to, yeah, like this. Like, is this close enough, I wonder? Is that close enough? I hope it is, but, oops, I can't, there we go. I hope this is close enough, but I can't really tell. I might need to go a little bit closer. The power cables take 1 metal for every 5 tiles, so we are using a little bit of metal there, but it's okay. I'm installing our power area for the future. I'm not like thinking about it in terms of like best for now. I'm thinking about it in the future and like where my stuff's gonna be and kind of trying to position my power hub where I can have it all in one place. Okay, so this rocket is currently being unloaded of resources, but some of these resources, we don't have anywhere to put them, so we're gonna need some depots. I'm gonna put some storage depots. Now, we have the universal depots, which store 30 of each transportable resource, and then we also have each of these specialized depots that can hold 180 of each. I've been playing around with different ways to do things, and also with some advice from a friend. I've come to the conclusion myself, as well as kind of agreeing with him, that having these specialized depots is actually slightly more efficient. So I'm gonna have some specialized depots here. We're gonna go with metal. We're gonna go with concrete, which I'm gonna put kind of biased toward that way just a little bit more. We're gonna go with food here. I want rare metals. We'll put that on this side so that it's a little bit closer to all that stuff. We're gonna go with a metals depot, which we already did. That's there, cool. Electronics, stick that there. Polymers, we can stick that there. Machine parts, we can stick that here. And let's do a fuel depot. In the fuel depot, I'm gonna put, let's say, here. Okay, so there's now a specialized storage area for all of the different resources. It doesn't cost anything to make these depots, so you can make them and like as many times as you want, wherever you want. We're also gonna need some waste rock storage. This is what's telling us right here, because the concrete extractor is generating waste rock as well, which is what this is, and we need a place to store that waste rock. So, and we need to store it in command range too. So how about we take, I'd like to maybe put it over here. It looks like a natural place where you want to dump some rocks. Problem is it's slightly out of command. No, it's not. This has got it, so we're good. Dumping site, we can put this right. It's a little bit far away, admittedly, from this, but I want it kind of out of the way. I don't want the garbage area, if you will, to be close to the rest of the stuff, so I'm gonna put it over here anyway. You guys like the music of this game? Like, the music is awesome. If you're wondering, like the music-wise, right? If we click this little area down here that says radio, we can actually change the radio station. Now, I don't know about Content ID and YouTube and things like this, so I'm not gonna play each of these stations for very long, but I do wanna give you guys a look at sort of like the different atmosphere that you can get from the game by having different music. So here's Red Frontier. It's a little more country. Some songs are a little bit more country America than others. This one's actually kind of nice. I've never heard this song before. I like it. Then we have the Free Earth channel. So a little more earthy tones in it, right? And then we have the official Mars channel. Each of these stations has a whole bunch of different music. And each song, it does change up the pacing and styling every now and then. I find the official Mars channel is the closest to the Surviving Mars thing here. But this actually has like a talk show, a little bit things here. There's actually a radio broadcaster with several of these. I don't know about Red Frontier, but I've heard it with these two. There's people that actually talk like it's a radio show, so it's kind of nice. Okay, I want to go back to the Surviving Mars though, because I don't know what it is with Content ID in these songs. So hopefully it's not demonetized just by showing that. If it is, I guess I'll just delete this video and re-upload it to where it isn't, but we'll see. All right, so concrete extractor, done. Rocket being unloaded, good. Now, it says waiting for refuel. If you play the game with IMM, or International Mars Mission, ooh, Meteor, hello. All right, so like I was saying, unless you play with IMM, your rockets are not gonna generate their own fuel. You're gonna need to create that fuel yourself. And so what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna need to use two buildings to do that. The first is the moisture vaporator. This is responsible for taking the CO2 that's in the atmosphere. And then we also need to get the fuel refinery, which is right here. And essentially what we're doing is we're taking the CO2 that's in the atmosphere of Mars, and we're gonna combine it with the hydrogen that's in the water. And a little bit of simple chemistry, we end up getting methane and oxygen that we can use for here. Unfortunately, we don't actually have any water nearby, so we're gonna have to pull it from the air. We can't pull it from the ground, the water, I mean. So we're gonna need those two structures. We're gonna need the moisture vaporator, and we're gonna need the fuel refinery. Otherwise, this rocket is gonna stay right here, and it's not gonna move, because it doesn't have the fuel to lift off again. And we need that. We need the fuel. We need the rockets to go back and forth. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to send a resupply mission. So resupply mission, we're gonna go down here to resupply. And we have two options for resupplying. We have the cargo rocket, and we have the passenger rockets. We are not ready for passenger rockets. So cargo rocket first. We're gonna need prefab buildings because we don't have the research to build this on the surface yet. So we're gonna take a moisture vaporator and a fuel refinery. These are the two components that we need in order to make that happen. I could bring another Stirling generator, but you saw before they are really expensive, and I just don't know about having more of them. I think we're probably fine with just the two that we have for now. I'm also gonna want a remote controlled vehicle transport for drones, which is really nice. We're gonna want an RC rover, and I'm gonna want an RC explorer. And this vehicle here is responsible for exploring those anomalies that we keep finding. I'm taking one more drone, and I'm also gonna take some supplies that are really hard to get in the early game. So like some more electronics, some more machine parts, and some more polymers. Let's take one more probe. Is it expensive? It's not bad. I think the drone is actually more useful for us like long term because it's not gonna break down very much. So okay, so this is what we're gonna send. We're gonna be down to just over $1.5 billion left in our funding. But you'll notice we have 4 out of 5 rockets, right? Which means 1 is on the surface of Mars. We have 4 remaining to launch because Space Y gets 5 rockets. So let's launch this. When that rocket gets here, we'll land it, and that will allow us to have the prefab buildings that we need in order to start generating fuel. I might end up setting them up over here. I don't know. I like to spread my stuff out, and it's probably inefficient with drone transports and stuff, but I like to spread my stuff out. Eventually, it will all work together because I have kind of a plan of how I want buildings. Eventually, it will work together really well, but in the early stages, because of the way the map is structured like this and the position of this stuff especially, it's kind of screwing with me. I'm gonna like kind of probably start a little slower than most people have, I think, but hopefully it'll be all right. Is there any way to I wonder if there's a way to extract this. Oh, they're already doing it automatically. Okay, good. Good. I was wondering if there's a way to like manually extract that, but where is our transport truck? Over here. Are you getting resources? You're full. Okay, so this guy's full, but he's just sitting here, and that's inefficient. We're gonna bring him over here. What I can do, a more automated way of doing this. How many resources are left here? Okay, there's only 9, so that's not a very good example. This one's got 22, 11. All right, this one has 58. This is a little bit better of an example, even though it's just outside of command range. Okay, this is a better example. So once this truck, let's speed up time. Once our truck drops off the cargo, which it's gonna do right here, and as soon as it does, our drones are gonna go ahead and, oh, well, it's not actually dropping it off, is it? I needed to drop its cargo, so I'm gonna have it drop it right here. There we go. Now, what I can do is I can have this truck here go back and forth in a more automated way. So how I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna select this button here. It says create transport route. What I do is I select the resource I wanna get. Then I'm gonna tell it to unload it somewhere, which in this case is gonna be like right here, I guess. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna create this sort of automated system where this will go and get resources here. When it's full, it will go and drop it off. Then it will go back and get it. Then it'll go drop it off. It'll just keep doing that back and forth. In the early game, not as useful because it's just like, hey, go get those things in rocks and drop them off. But eventually, you're gonna get this area where some bases, some areas don't have resources that others do. And you can get these trucks here to just sort of automatically transport supplies back and forth of what it needs. And it's really gonna be nice. Okay, we have an extra drone hub. Do I want to set that up anywhere? Do I need it anywhere? If I want to get this stuff, I do, but I'd really like to get the scans done so I can tell whether there's water anywhere nearby or not. Like, water is kind of be essential for life, and I'm not going to know where to put the dome until I know where the water is. Speaking of which, these prefab buildings that are coming are going to need water infrastructure as well. Well, it's not really that important because we're gonna need like the water towers and stuff, but I'm pretty sure my first dome is probably gonna be over here only because of the rare metals, and we can start getting some money and then really start ramping up our production on stuff, probably. But until that stuff gets here, there's really no, well, I guess I could get some batteries. These will require maintenance, so I'm only gonna get one, but the battery will at least allow us to store some of that power that's kind of access. We're kind of wasting it right now. So let's get the battery like, see, there's gonna be an extractor right here, and I don't want to put things super close to that. So I'm actually gonna put it over here instead. Maybe right there. And then power cables to here. And that's pretty simple. So all this access power we're generating right now we have a demand of 7, but we're producing 20. Because these little things here are basically free power. They're very expensive, but while they're closed, they won't get hit with dust. And dust is the primary thing that causes things to deteriorate. So the sensor tower is exposed to dust, and eventually we're gonna need to repair it with metal as our resource. This thing here is generating dust. You can see the dust. It's generating dust. And eventually it's gonna need repaired. This one takes machine parts. So it's useful to understand which things take which parts to repair so that you can focus, if you can focus on the things that you have the most resources of. For example, if I'm gonna need more power here, if I'm like, hey, I need more power, I can either use wind turbines or large solar panels to do that. I can't use Stirling generators because I'd have to prefab them and ship them. I don't have the ability to build them here yet. I don't have the research yet. But if I want wind turbines, it's gonna take half a machine part to repair it. If I want solar panels, it'll take a metal. So if I'm really short on machine parts, if I only have like 10, but I have like 100 metals, I might want to prioritize just like building batteries which take, actually batteries take polymers. I might want to prioritize the solar panels instead, which are only useful during the day. It's kind of a trade-off. I don't know. It's hard. Again, I only have 5 hours of experience in the game as of right now, like to start recording this. So, like not an expert here. I'm just kind of reiterating some of the stuff that I'm aware of based on that experience in the past so far.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
Okay, so we found another anomaly in this sector, and it is an eye symbol. Ooh, I've heard of these, but I've never seen them before. We have to be exploring those as well. We've got quite a few anomalies to explore. Once this rocket arrives, we'll get these 2 done, we'll get these 3 over here done, and then we can go get the eye as well. Let's scan, I guess we'll scan here, even though like over here is probably more, let's scan here instead. Because we have the sensor tower installed, it's actually speeding up the scanning times for these regions. So this one's already 11% done. These things go like a lot slower if you don't have the sensor tower. Basically, the early game for surviving Mars is all about trying to like gather the resources necessary to build your first dome. But I like to take my time with it because as soon as you introduce people, then you introduce a lot of complexity. So you want to make sure your infrastructure is really good before you start bringing people in. And especially true if I'm going to have patrons as colonists, which is what I've been taking applications for over the last couple of weeks. I think a lot of you guys are in so far. We're going to get you guys as colonists into the game too. Here we go. So we're charging. We have stored power. This is good. So if we ever get a deficient on power, and I don't notice it very fast, at least we'll have 1 battery that will give these guys some time anyway. As the charge builds up, the battery goes up as well. But you can see that it is going to be susceptible to dust, and that sucks, but it is what it is. I'd like to figure out a way. I'm hoping there's technologies in the future that make our equipment like a little bit more resilient against the dust. Do we want another extractor? I think maybe. Oh, the rocket's here. Okay, let's slow down time really quick. And let's land this rocket. We're gonna land it like maybe over here. So it's a little more command range, right, for things. So let's land it like right here. Yes. So like I was saying, dust is the primary thing that deteriorates your buildings. And as this rocket, ooh, nice. I'm actually curious, that meteor just hit over here, right? I wish I could scan. Can the camera move faster? There's a meteor that just hit over here, and I was wondering if there's like resources from it. Because sometimes you can get resources from those meteors that hit. But if it hits off of your map, or like if it hit over here, then you're not gonna see it. Which it looks like that's kind of what happened, unfortunately. It's not this. You'd see a little ring around it if it was it, but anyway, so you see all the dust that's flung by rockets, so you want to make sure you land your rockets away from your buildings if you can. Oh yeah. So here's an RC rover. It's a mobile base for the drones, so you'll notice that the command range is moving with this. So now we can do things outside command range just by moving this into command range if we need to, which is really, really handy. It comes in handy big time.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
For now, I'm gonna have it sit over there. Now, the Explorer is gonna be in charge of getting our anomalies. There are a lot of them so far. So the Explorer, let's have it start over here, and we'll have it just work its way this way. So this guy is gonna go and research these anomalies. And the anomalies with the key are things that unlock research potentials. So if I take a look at my research screen here, we only have this one line, and we're getting, it's pretty slow. Research is pretty slow, but you have to imagine, like you're not really doing much. You don't have a whole lot of like,
battery low.
You don't have a whole lot of scientists and stuff around here yet, so. So it's gonna analyze this. Now you see the battery low, and that's this, that's our little transport truck that we have going. How much is left in this? 13? I think you have the battery to make it happen. Do you have the space though? Yeah, you do. You have the space to haul it all? Yeah. Okay, so we'll let this thing haul it all. And then once it gets over here and drops off its payload, we're gonna have it go and recharge its batteries.
Anomaly analyzed. Milestone achieved.
Ooh.
There's more to the barren environs of the Red Planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure trove of undiscovered knowledge and wonder. So long as you know where to look.
Even the tiniest, simply looking rock can contain an answer to mysteries which perplex the human mind for generations. Sometimes it takes just a simple discovery to assure us that the vastness of the universe, or assure us of the vastness of the universe, an encouragement to make us look beyond the boundaries of our existence and into the future. So, currently we just unlocked the tech's Earth-Mars Initiative and hygroscopic vaporators, which is here. It's a moisture vaporator upgrade. Nice. I think we should do that. Water production increased by 50%. That's pretty nice. I'm gonna take that. And then also, this research is, ooh, this is most important. Let's cancel these. I'm gonna leave this alone because it's basically done, and I don't know if it's gonna completely reset. I don't know how that works. I never tried to like get rid of this and see if it costs more research. I don't know if it continues where it left off is what I'm saying. So let's get this first. That's gonna increase our research speed, which is so good. For 1,000 research, we can then increase the research provided by our sponsor. Fantastic. And then after that, then we'll go and get, I think this first and then this, and then this. Okay, we got all the research queued up. Very nice. Explorer, good job. Go get this one now. I think we're gonna hold off on sending more rockets, especially since we don't have the fuel done. But this rocket landed, and that means we now have our prefab buildings. So I should be able to go, there's a fuel refinery right here. Yep. How do we wanna do the fuel refinery? Do we wanna put it, I think I'm gonna put it over here. I think I'm gonna put the fuel refinery. Now these refineries, I don't know if the refinery actually takes, I don't know if the refinery actually, but makes dust. I don't know about that one. It's not really an extractor, but I'm gonna put it right here. Actually, that might be in the way of this future dome that I wanna build. Let's put it here instead, right like this. And then we're gonna take the moisture vaporator. I'll put this on this side. And we'll put that right. Now this is an extractor, I think, the vaporator, because it's got the spinning fan blade and it's gonna kick up dust, I think. So maybe we'll put that on this side instead. It does mean I have to make, choosing the location for this stuff is always the hardest part for me because it's like, I have to plan ahead with it. But having the fuel close by to the depot is a really good idea. So I think for now we're gonna do this. We're gonna put this right, yeah, we'll put it right here because there's already gonna be another extractor here. That just means that both of these facilities are gonna get dust more out. How about this? We'll put it right there. Now both of these are prefabs, so they're not gonna take the resources to build. They just basically already prefabricated. That just needs to be constructed by a single drone. With these two things done, I'm also gonna need a water tower. Let's put the tower on this side. Still, it might be in the way of this dome I want to build later, which is probably going to be right here. So maybe this isn't so bad. I can always deconstruct it. Let's put it there. All right, water tower here, vaporator here, and the fuel here. Now this stuff is going to take power, and we're going to need to haul the power over. So let's get power cables running. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to run the power cables across long ways. That's kind of a problem, kind of. Maybe what we do is this. We could take and build a dome. Domes are really expensive though. We also have these rocks in the way, which I think these guys are actually working on. Yeah, they are. They're working on those. That's nice. We're gonna need power, so I'm gonna have to run it. I don't have a choice in that. So let's take the power from here, and we'll just drag it along this path, I guess.
Anomaly analyzed.
Oh wait, I can't. Oh, I can't. Hang on. Salvage this really quick. I gotta take the power cable around the side, I guess. I guess that's what I have to do. On the side. Yep. Now, when this highlights green like that, does that mean it's going to remove the rock? How does that work? Is it going to remove the rock? Let's try this out. I don't know why it highlights that green. It's kind of weird. It is telling me that it's too early to place a dome, so we'll wait. So this is going to provide power to all these things, but like, I think we have the overhead for it because we got 2 of these Stirling generators. Let's go ahead and put the RC rover kind of like in the middle here. Where's our explorer? Down here. I want to do another anomaly. I don't want to do the eye just yet. Let's get this. This is gonna improve our research speed. It's basically like a free bump in research, which is gonna be huge. So we'll do that. Also, our transport truck. Yeah, here it is. It's really low on battery. So how these guys recharge themselves is actually kind of cool. Can you recharge yourself here? Just like by being next to it? I wouldn't think so because you're not actually hooked to the grid. So how these things recharge is they actually just need to be sitting on a power line. So as long as you're sitting on a power cable, it'll charge itself. So it'll just kind of come next to it and just charge itself. It doesn't have to be right on it. You can put it near it.
Sector scanned.
But as long as it's near it and you see it highlighting purple like this, it means it's charging its batteries from the power grid. So that's kind of nice. All right, last thing we need here are pipes. So let's get life support pipes. This pipe is gonna go all the way to, or not. That's a silly way of doing it, but all right. And then I also need to connect the pipe over here too. So the pipe can go from here and like that. Okay. So basically how this is gonna happen is we're gonna pump water through the fuel refinery. Fuel refinery is gonna use the water that it needs to create fuel. Any excess is gonna go to this. Now that's just my logistics that I narrate, but really you don't need them in that order. You can put them in any order you want. You can put this over there, it doesn't matter. But basically that's how I'm gonna work with this. So this thing is going to pull water in, this thing's gonna pull water in as well as the CO2 from the atmosphere. It's gonna generate methane and oxygen, that's our fuel, and then the drones will deliver it to the depot here, or it will deliver it all the way to the rocket here. And that's how we'll get things done. How are you doing on this anomaly here? Why isn't, oh, that doesn't have, all right, it doesn't have pipes, good. Research. So we unlocked extractor amplification, extractor upgrade. Increases production by 25%, but also increases power consumption by 10%. Soil adaptation, build a farm. Hey, that's kind of nice. Yeah, I've already got a whole bunch of stuff queued up here. Let's speed up time and get some of these things done.
Research complete.
Bam.
Anomaly analyzed.
Let's go get that one now. So research has been complete. We now have we got a whole 2 of them. Nice. So now the Earth-Mars initiative is done. Where is it? It's not there. It's here. Increases research provided by sponsor by 100. So now the sponsor is giving us 300 research per soul. Like having that done as early as possible is so good. We're gonna have a great time with this. Let's actually get to farms because I might actually need a dome faster than usual. Oh, this is nice too. Actually, let's get rid of this for a second. I don't need this, and we don't need this yet. Let's actually focus on Explorer AI. So generate 100 research per soul for each RC Explorer vehicle. Multiple vehicles result in collaboration losses, but that's fine. So like basically it says 100 research per soul. We'll have another 100 research per day because of our Explorer vehicle. That is so powerful. I think after that we'll do the amplification and then we'll follow that up with the farms. And then after that, maybe we'll go for decommission protocol. All right, so in order to build a dome, we're also gonna need to get oxygen and stuff, but that's gonna happen in the next episode for sure.
Battery low.
We're not gonna be able to do that today. We're gonna have to do that later. Analyzing this anomaly will give us the huge bump in research that we need. Oh God, that's so good. Having 2 of those next to each other is great. Actually, maybe we don't need to, it's too late. We're already, it's fine, it's fine. It's all the same really, regardless of when you do it. It's gonna be the same, so.
Research
Bam.
complete.
We have hygroscopic vaporators now. Explorer AI is basically like, it's 72% done. That's sweet. Okay, go charge your battery. We'll have it do that just by, like, basically stopping right here on this cable. We'll have this have its battery too. Yeah, it's fine. There we go. And then we're gonna go have it explore these things. I could go get another explorer, but I don't really think it's necessary. Let's have you extract these resources, actually. I need to get these out of the way because I kind of want my dome right here now, actually.
Reported.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put my dome here. Now, the more cables you get, and the more like the cables are around like different extractors and things like that, they will start to malfunction. So the more complicated your power network is, the more they're going to need patching up. However, as long as you have drones in the area and they have resources that are in the area within command range,
Sector scanned.
they'll go ahead and repair them automatically, which is nice. Just scan this sector. Still no water. Damn. Where the hell is the water? I need water. Like, life is going to be really hard without water. Just saying. All right, get this one. Gosh, this is so good. 300 research per soul now. The Space Y. I'm digging it. What do you guys think of the game so far? Like, it is definitely a slower starting survival game. It sure is. But like, if you think about it, how long would we have to have autonomous, like, remote controlled setup on Mars before we were ready to actually send people there, right? It takes years, right? It takes maybe even a decade or more to really set things up like that. And in this game, you start to send people there like day 10. So it is faster
Anomaly analyzed.
than like real life or something.
There's more to the barren environment.
Yeah, we can see that every time. Okay, so research analyzed. So we now have unlocked magnetic filtering. Oxygen production increased by 50%. Yes, that's what we want. I'm gonna keep delaying decommission protocol. Engineering tree is actually a really good thing to get. I probably should stop doing that. But if we do this first, and then we do the farms, and then we do decommission, and then we do subsurface heater. Increases the local temperature in cold areas and protects nearby buildings from cold waves. Consumes water. More applicants will start appearing from Earth. That's kind of nice. Man, I don't know which one to do first. You know what? I'm gonna set it and forget it. We're not gonna do the research. This is gonna be the order we do it. As soon as we have Explorer AI now, we're gonna have 400 research per soul. That's just nuts. 400 research per soul is crazy. We're gonna be researching things so fast now. Let's see.
Research complete.
Transporting resources. Where are you gonna get those? Let's have you get them over here. Explorer AI is done. Right here. Sponsor 100, Explorers 100. Or sponsor 300, Explorers 100. This is gonna go so fast now compared to what I had before. Like, that's even faster than IMM. Like, we're gonna research things faster than IMM. The only problem with setting up the dome over here. Oh, look at this metals. Oh gosh, this is such a good place for a dome. Right here is my dome. I've decided. Right here is the dome. Right here. If we can get, God, it's so, like, the small dome sucks because you can't, you know what, we're gonna have 2 domes. We're gonna have to have 2. Man, I can't position this dome to where it's gonna get all of this stuff. There's no way to get it all. I can get here. I could put the dome here. We'd be able to get the 1 metal deposit and then the 2 of those. But like,
Sector scanned.
I still don't know where water is. Water is gonna be such a pain in the butt. I think right here is where I'm gonna put this dome. Yeah, so as soon as this is done, as soon as these resources are gone, we're gonna be fine. Let's drop off the resources over here. Actually, let's just drop them off right here because we're gonna probably use them to build the dome. Explorer, let's have you get that anomaly, please. I really did want to build the dome in the first episode, but I think it's gonna be the second. It's just the way things worked. Oh, it's just the way the game progresses. It's a little slower, you know? All right, you, go get this. How much is left? 5, perfect. Get that and drop it off over here. And then once we do that, I think I'm gonna prompt the dome to be built right here. Explorer AI is done. We can replace this with drone hubs are constructed with additional 2 drones, and the maximum number of drones is increased by 80? Oh my god. Can I extend their command range? Can I extend their command range? It's a legit question. Can I extend their command range, please? Let's get that. Drone swarm. Nice. All right, so all the resources are now dropped off. So I could build this drone. I could build this dome right now if I want to, like right here.
Anomaly analyzed.
Like right here. I want to get as far. I want to get far enough away from this metal area so that we don't get the dust. But I also need to get close enough to these 2 resources. So I'm gonna have to put it right here. That is where my first dome is, right there. Now there's no drones in range, and that's by design. I don't want them building it yet, but I am gonna designate it for now. Anomalies. You know what? Let's go get this. Let's see what our quest is. I don't know which quest we have, but this will tell us something about the story behind our colony. Because I'm pretty sure that's what this is. I've heard about this one. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. We start to uncover what our mystery is. How's our power consumption? We have a 3 power surplus still. Not bad. This needs to be fixed up. We do have machine parts. Yep, we have 13 of them. So much metals. So many. I think the concrete, actually, we need another one. Because we're going to be generating a lot of concrete. We're also going to be using a lot of concrete, but we're going to be generating more. So I think I'm going to put...
We've just confirmed the location of a metal-rich deposit. A drilling accident turned to our advantage.
Interesting. We lost a drilling probe while trying to analyze this anomaly. The signal was suddenly lost, and we got the tingling feeling that we would get lucky with the second one. The operators were extra careful, and the second insertion revealed a vast network of underground cavities beneath the hard rock plate. On top of that, we managed to get in contact with the first probe, which had fallen through in another section of the crust faults. We used the 2 probes as triangulation points for telemetry and pinpointed the location of the deposit. So we discovered a metal deposit from this. Interesting. So is that not the quest? I thought that was a quest. All right, so that gave us the metal deposit. Cool. We'll have you go down and do this one. And then I think when we start the next episode, guys, we're gonna get this dome built and we're gonna start getting people here. That's gonna be awesome. But until then, we're gonna need oxygen as well, which I'm gonna set up over here. But until then, let me know what you guys think of the game. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, it's the first video of a brand new series with a brand new game, and that game is highly competitive, so you can help me out by commenting below, sharing this with your friends, hitting the thumbs up button. Let me know what you think of this. My name is Charlie. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.